Amir sits alone at the dining table, laptop glowing with red deadlines. The creatively decorated flat feels empty. In the modest three-bedroom flat in the Gulberg area of Lahore, the ceiling fan turns slowly, pushing warm air that did little to ease the tightness in Amir's chest. It was nearly midnight. His laptop has unread emails and a red-marked project missed timeline. Amir works as a mid-level manager in a textile export firm. For the past 3 months, the company had been chasing an impossible European order. The boss, Mr. Rizvi, believed motivation comes only through fear. If you cannot deliver, someone hungrier will, he had said that morning in front of the whole team. Amir had nodded, swallowed the humiliation, and stayed in the office until the security guard began locking the outer gate. When he finally stepped into the house, the smell of cold dal and roti greeted him. His wife Sana sat on the sofa scrolling through her phone. Their 5-year-old son, Hamza, was already asleep.
"You're late again,"
she said without looking up. Her voice carried the flat tiredness of someone who had repeated the same sentence too many times.
"The shipment papers? There is always a shipment."
She stood up, gathered the plates from the dining table, and walked to the kitchen. The clatter of porcelain plates against each other was louder than necessary. Amir followed her. "Sana, I'm doing this for us. The bonus this quarter can cover Hamza's school fees and the installment on the car." She turned, eyes shining with something between anger and exhaustion.
"And what about us? When was the last time you sat with your son for more than 10 minutes? When was the last time you asked me how my day was? I also work, Amir. I teach morning classes and then come home to manage everything while you live inside your laptop."
The words landed harder than Mr. Rizvi's sarcasm. In their families, men were expected to provide and women were expected to keep the home running. Both of them had absorbed those expectations, yet neither felt the other was meeting them. That night, Amir lay awake listening to the morning azan from a distant mosque. His mind raced between the unfinished Excel sheets and Sana's closed bedroom door. He felt the familiar pressure behind his eyes, the same pressure that had begun giving him migraine headaches 3 times a week. The next day was worse. A critical document was rejected by the foreign buyer because of a small formatting error. Mr. Rizvi called Amir into his glass cabin and spoke in a low, cutting voice. "One more mistake and I will put your resignation letter on this table myself." Amir's hands trembled as he returned to his desk. He skipped lunch, drank 3 cups of strong chai, and stayed until 10:40 p.m. When he reached home, Sana was not in the living room. He found her in Hamza's room, sitting on the edge of the bed, quietly crying while the child slept. She looked up when she heard him.
"I waited for you to call," she whispered. "Hamza had fever in the afternoon. I took him to the clinic alone. The doctor said it is viral, nothing serious, but I kept thinking, what if it had been serious? Who would I have called?"
Amir sat down heavily on the floor beside the bed. The fluorescent light made everything look harsh. For the first time in weeks, he had no defense ready. The office pressure had become a wall between them, and behind that wall, Sana had been carrying the family alone. "I don't know how to do both," he said finally, his voice cracking. "If I slow down at work, they will replace me. If I keep going like this, I am losing you and Hamza." Sana wiped her face with the end of her dupatta. She did not move closer, but her voice softened.
"I never asked you to stop working. I asked you to let me in, tell me when it's too much, ask for help. We are supposed to be on the same side."
Outside, a motorcycle rattled past and a dog barked in the lane. Inside the small room, the silence between husband and wife felt different, less like a wall and more like a fragile space that might still be crossed. Amir reached out and took her hand. It was warm. For the first time that week, the tightness in his chest loosened a little. The emails would still be waiting tomorrow. The deadlines would still be brutal. But tonight, at least, he was no longer carrying the weight completely alone. In the quiet of their ordinary Lahore flat, 2 people who had been living parallel stressed lives began carefully to turn toward each other again. Elias H. Porter is a significant name among psychologists of the past century. He developed the relationship awareness theory. which forms the foundation of the Strength Deployment Inventory, SDI. According to Porter, human behavior in relationships is driven by underlying motives related to self-worth. He identified three primary motivational values. Red or assertive directing, people who focus on achieving results, taking action quickly, and pursuing success. Green or analytic autonomizing, people who prefer to think carefully, analyze situations thoroughly, and maintain independence before acting. Blue or altruistic nurturing, people who prioritize caring for others, helping, and maintaining harmonious relationships. Porter further identified four blended systems that combine two or all three of these primary motivations. This results in a total of 7 motivational value systems. Each of these 7 groups tends to communicate, work, and handle conflict in its own characteristic way. However, at the core, all individuals are motivated by the desire to maintain or enhance their sense of self-worth or ego. If Amir and Sana had understood these 7 motivational value systems, they might never have reached this level of conflict. Amir was driven by red motives. He was a fast-paced achiever who focused on results and success. Sana, on the other hand, was guided by blue motives. She found fulfillment in caring for others and felt most valued when people needed her help. A great deal of work has been done on Elias H. Porter's relationship awareness theory. In our future videos, we will explore Porter's ideas in greater depth and learn how to identify our own motivational style, as well as the styles of those around us. When we truly understand relationship awareness theory, many unnecessary conflicts can be significantly reduced.